can see it, so I line them up. Yeah. All right. Shall I do my regular intro? Mm-hmm. It's going to be on my channel, yours. YTPC, Padre Piper, coming at you via the virtual airwaves of the YouTube pipe community to say hi and happy St. Patrick's Day, joined for this enormous broadcast.
Yes.
By my good friend. You used to know him as MGV Squared, and then he changed the name of his channel. You used to know him as a proper fug, and then he changed the name of his channel. This guy has identity issues. Your new channel name is?
Identify as Mark V.V.
He identifies as Mark V.V. And you did this just because for Squire Radio, Country Squire Radio, which you should go check out if you're not already following that. You do conversations and such. Want folks to know who you are. And yeah. So anyway, we are doing this in advance of St. Patrick's Day, but who knows when this is going to actually go up online. Hence green, right? I've got my green. You've got your green.
I've got orange.
You've got orange, which is, that's part of the Irish color, right? And we're doing Peterson's, and we thought we'd talk for a few days.
It's a long time.
It's a long time.
I got things to do.
Yeah, we're in a New Orleans establishment called Cafe Du Monde. There it is. He's actually drinking the standard Cafe au lait. I have black coffee because I'm boring like that. And we're enjoying a bowl. What we wanted to do today was a St. Patrick's Day tribute smoke. And so we have never had, either of us have never had this before. Actually, can you put those out there? And I'll hold this up. Sillem Green. Sillem Green. Now, I've had Sillem's Black. I'm a big fan of it. The Sillem Green. You know what? I brought notes. You want to hang on a second? Talk to the people.
I'm going to show them the bag that it comes in.
This is from, I'm assuming this is from there. This is on tobaccoreviews.com, so it's probably what Sillem says. Bright, loose, and highly aromatic. This elegant composition will tempt you and you will never forget it. Different sugar-sweet Virginia tobaccos with brown and black mellow varieties of Cavendish. This blend has a dense, sumptuous, exotic smell of pina colada. You do get the pina colada, don't you?
I get the sumptuous pina colada.
Deliciously topped with the aroma of nuts. A high-class tobacco. They let us smoke it anyway. A high-class tobacco, which will delight you and the people around you. See that? People around us. They're not complaining yet, but the wind is also blowing that way. So they're delighted. They're delighted. So,
by the sumptuous pina colada.
Now I want to show off my St. Patty's Day pipe because I did not get a Peterson 2018, but you did. Mm-hmm. So let's work backwards. I'm going to show my 20. Oh, let's work.
We're now backwards.
Forward backwards. I'm dyslexic, so I get confused on these things. This is from 20. Do you have a 2016?
I do.
All right, so this is my 2016, right? Beautiful. Look at that wood. It's got the orange band, which, I think upset some people because it didn't have green. But orange is part of the Irish, right? And I won't get into the religious wars about Catholics and Protestants and green and orange and all that, but it is part of their color. And this is a nice pipe. It gurgles a little, but it's solid. Last year, they came out with the green pipe.
Yep.
This is unsmoked until just a moment ago when we lit up. I don't know if that looks green to you folks. What I can tell you is it was greener last year when I got it. It's black.
It's black.
For all intents and purposes, it's black. This is a black pipe. Similar colors. I mean, it's got a shade of green. But folks, this is dark. Now, you and I both saw in one of the Facebook forums that, he didn't want to say his name at the time. I'm just going to say it. John David from Country Squire got a shipment of these in and was disappointed because they were so dark this year. But yours for 2018 is not.
This is one of the ones that he actually kept. And it is.
And he shipped a bunch of them back, though.
Yeah, he shipped a lot of them back. Probably 80% of what he got.
Because they were. Now this is a glossy finish. That's a matte. I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but this is I don't know. This is really a far cry from approaching green. What are your thoughts on all that?
Quality control. Quality control. I think they're just staining them too dark. But this one was one of the ones that he kept. Again, this is a nice emerald as opposed to a black.
The stem is beautiful too.
Yeah.
High quality construction.
Yeah.
You smoked it before?
Once. It's a little army mount, so you can take it out while you're smoking.
So this is the inaugural smoke. Now I've had this obviously for over a year because again this is the 2017 edition, and it's smoking like a charm. I mean I can't complain about that. It's Peterson. They do make good pipes. They do smoke well. Now, so what are your thoughts on this Sillem Green?
It is fruity. I get the kind of a coconut flavor.
That's that pina colada.
It's a pina colada.
But it's not as aromatic as I thought it would.
No, it's very it's not very fruit forward.
Now I wonder if that's because, show y'all a little something. These Sillem's black, red, blue, green. That's the four I know.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any other colors. They come in this beautiful tin, 3.5 ounces. But within that tin, they're wrapped in cellophane. And I got this. This is marked 8/16, August of 16.
And cellophane is a bit porous too, huh?
I don't know. I had not opened this tin until we got together just a few moments ago. We pulled it out of the cellophane. It's a little on the drier side. And so I wonder if it's had time to dry out appropriately, but also had a chance to get some of that immense topping off of it.
Yeah.
Don't know. That's my theory, and I'm going with it because it's certainly an aromatic, but I would have thought it would have been a heavier tasting sweetness. And it's not bad. It's not bad. Not bad at all.
Not at all.
Get my lighter away. So I think all the rage these days in the pipe community has been discussion of McClellands. So I guess since it's been a long time since I've put up a video, we probably should just go ahead and address that. McClellands.
Done.
That's it? That's how you're going to address it. Now how does this newfangled lighter of yours work here? What am I doing wrong?
You're leaking all the gas. That's what you're doing.
We probably won't edit this part out. Get what out. I'll tell you what, I'm going to make mine work. I just got to get out of wind.
Raw, uncut footage.
Well, I personally am a huge fan of McClelland, so I'm taking it hard.
You are.
It will be missed. They will be missed. I mean, you know my favorites: Holiday Spirit, Mellow Mac, Calamine. I made a video after the deeming stuff where everybody went crazy and started stocking up, and I admitted in that video that I'd made a mistake because I started stocking up on some McClellands, thinking they weren't going to be there anymore because of the FDA deeming, but they were pre-2007. So, oh
Yep.
man, I cellar deep on stuff I didn't need to cellar deep on. But you know what? Genius mistake, because now I've got a ton of that stuff.
Darn.
And I'm thinking, this could be the new Bitcoin. Now that's been really ticking people off, though. People selling McClelland on eBay.
I got Bitcoin.
Yes, but people treating the McClelland tins like they're Bitcoin is what's been ticking people off. You know, have you seen that?
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Well, to be fair, some of the tins that they're putting up on eBay have been aged considerably, and some of the newer tins are not getting the same price point as some of the older tins. But yeah, they're $100 for a tin of cellar, McClelland Throgmorton cellar.
So, when you think about McClelland, MCB squared or whatever your name is these days.
Beignet face.
Beignet face.
Yes.
Why don't, we'll come back to it. Let's take a sidebar. Explain to the folks who aren't from New Orleans what a beignet is.
I don't have any more.
Well, we'll roll some B footage. Roll. We're rolling B footage, so you can explain to them what they're looking at right now.
This is the beignet.
and it's close to a donut, but doesn't have a hole in it.
Square donut.
It's a square donut. It's deep fried. It's bready. It's got lots of powdered sugar.
Yep.
And the sort of running joke in the culture here is you don't wear black to eat beignets because the powdered sugar goes everywhere.
But
I don't eat beignets, so I'm okay in black. But
it seems to concur that every time you wear black, it happens that you're going to go
get
beignet.
beignets.
Gonna
Yeah,
get beignets.
so that's a good thing.
So I dressed appropriately.
This is smoking pretty consistently.
Yep.
I would say that's behaving well, it's tasting good. Sillem Green. So back to the McClelland issue. Yeah, I think anybody who's watched my channel knows I like McClelland. Holiday Spirit, Palamine, Mellow Mac, the Bulk Tropical. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on and on. Balkan, what is it called? Balkan Supreme, Syrian Balkan Supreme, which I think that's been out for a while anyway.
They have the Yenaja series, the Yenaja Highlander, Yenaja Supreme.
So what are you going to miss the most from McClelland?
Oh man, Holiday Spirit. Absolutely Holiday Spirit. It's such a fantastic tobacco. Absolutely.
No doubt. But you're a Virginia fan, so you do Virginia Flakes and Straights and Vapors. And
Christmas Cheer is their other big seller, but that's a straight red Virginia. Excuse me, I need a pipe cleaner.
Now, one thing I noticed this week on Facebook, and I found it a little bit disturbing. You and I had jokingly discussed this, that only half jokingly. All right, I'm going to go to my previous vocation prior to ministry, talk like a psychologist for a moment. Stages of grief and loss. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross wrote extensively, researched this, stages of grief and loss. When you lose something, you go through these stages. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally acceptance. There's a lot of people who are still in the angry phase or stage about McClelland.
What was the second stage again?
Denial, anger.
Yeah,
anger.
denial as well.
Denial, yeah. Some people are in denial. Yeah, some people are still saying it's a marketing hoax. And I just don't think Mike and Mary are hoaxers. I think they really quit.
On a funny aside, I think Mike McNeil, from what I've heard, is now working at the what is it? Kansas City?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Kansas City, Missouri. Where is Kansas City?
Well, there's Kansas City, Kansas, there's Kansas City, Missouri. There's two of them. Which one you want?
I think he's working at the Kansas City Zoo.
The zoo?
The zoo.
Well, that's interesting.
I've heard he's paying them $10 an hour to work there.
He's paying them.
Supposedly it was a lifelong dream of his to work for the zoo. So I don't think it's a hoax.
No, I don't think they're coming back, folks. But the anger part of this really came out for me in a Facebook post I saw by the Sutliff Tobacco Company, who I think is a great company. I like their products. And people were kind of ragging on them for daring to say, you know, hey, listen, we're going to miss them too. And we've got some blends you may enjoy, basically, is what they're saying. Yeah, they were even putting up some little ways that you can kind of, not perfectly, but maybe get close to some of their blends. And I saw one for Holiday Spirit. They're saying, you know, if you take a little of this, you add a little of that, take a little of this, you're getting in that flavor
something
profile,
close, yeah.
Which I think was neat of them to do. And there were some people slamming them, and I thought that was just highly inappropriate. That's just not the way
there was a number of
pipe community people should behave.
There was a number of forums where they were definitely not very welcoming to that idea.
Yeah. So now let's talk about your channel, because
or the lack thereof.
Yeah, because I've been absent for a long time. I think the last time I posted a video was October. So I'm not one to talk, but what are you going to do with your channel? You've had all these great ideas. He's got some wonderful ideas. Head-to-heads, comparisons, blah, 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 blah. And he's done nothing. This is the first video he's made in, like, I don't know, 5 years or something. So you've changed your name 10 times of your channel.
I'm trying to find myself.
Still trying to find yourself.
Still trying to find myself.
You going to go back to college and do that?
It's possible. Mm-hmm. You never know.
Your wife and kid may have something to say about that.
They may.
Yeah. But seriously, so you're gonna be doing some content on your channel.
At some point,
Yes?
very
No?
soon.
What are you thinking of?
I'm
Tell,
hoping.
tell the folks. Give them a little teaser.
It's very possible. There's like a 50% chance.
Now you're doing some side work in the industry. He does like you type something up for Country Squire Radio.
Yes,
podcast,
I do
don't
the
you?
show notes for Country Squire Radio.
That's
So
the show notes for that.
Yep,
There you
that's-
go. There you go. Now, the whole McClelland thing, that's going to have far-reaching implications, and I don't want to throw John David under the bus here, but I'm assuming he's got house blends he uses, like many of the other tobacconists that were dependent upon some of the McClelland ingredients.
I don't think it's any known secret because I think he's touched on it on Country Squire Radio that at least a good 30 to 40% of the Squire blends are going to be no more because they use some McClelland 5100, some of the Red Virginia in them. So they're having to reformulate, kind of tool.
So
the
the
components.
question becomes, do you do that? Do you change something that's been there for 30, 40 years,
Yeah.
just slightly because of what's available? And then the second part of the question is, can you do that legally because of the deeming? Because you've changed ingredients.
Since the deeming isn't necessarily in effect yet,
It's not in effect yet, that is true.
it's not in effect quite yet, so he can
And who
still,
knows?
he can
Maybe
still
he
tool
hasn't,
with
that's right,
whatever-
maybe he hasn't reported those ingredients as
Right.
at this point. Boy, the joys of doing a live video in a public place, huh? Pick up some stuff. What else did we need to talk about today? We had plenty of ideas for
We did.
content. Well, now we've rambled for almost 17 minutes, and I think I've done the majority of the ramble.
You have.
You should see me in the pulpit.
Yes, to Chang,
There we go.
Robinson.
You enjoying that smoke?
Very much so. I wanted to talk about, or at least touch on,
How you doing?
continue to touch on the
I
Country
just
Squire
got
stuff
two
because
messages.
instead of focusing on creating new blends, they're going to be focusing on retooling some of their old
So
blends
what you need again?
so they don't lose them entirely.
But
So he's been focusing a lot on trying to figure out substitute tobaccos and substitute ingredients for his existing
Yeah,
blend.
that's
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
One of the things that
So,
Sutliff had also posted in that same thread that was, some people were kind of, I thought, inappropriately dogging on them. It's not their fault, right? It's nobody's fault. And people who are yelling about Mike and Mary, they need to stop that too, because they have a right to retire. You know, it's the way I look at it. Am I wrong about that? They have a right.
They do have a right to retire. Absolutely. They're getting old.
But you know, Sutliff was suggesting have a little fun. Take some of your own stuff and blend it together, and see if you can kind of create your own mixture at home. There's nothing that prevents you from doing that. Having a little fun creating your own blends and such. Do you do that?
Well, then, you know what?
I am not a
yeah,
home blender.
You know
I've
what
done
is?
it
I think this way
with,
I dropped.
Very little success. You had some of the what I call Jolly Old Elf. I don't think you liked it.
No, did not like it. Sorry.
It was my own holiday experiment. It had a little bit of McClelland Mocha Supreme, I think is what it was called. A little bit of McClelland's Three Cherries, and just a hint of Frogmorton.
Cellar?
No, it was across the pond. Syrian
it's a Syrian
Latakia,
Latakia, yeah.
just to give it a little oomph to it. He didn't like it. I did send it to Grateful Piper. Grateful Piper was very grateful. This guy was not. You do the math on that. Thank you, Tyler. I'm glad you enjoyed that little made-up holiday blend of mine. So I've done that a couple of times. I've had a little fun with that, and it really is fun. It just I'm a little too blend ADD. I like moving from blend to blend to blend to blend, so I don't have the ability to sit still and smoke this every day for a week until I tweak it, or for a month, or let it sit and come back to it, and because it really requires a commitment.
Part of my silence is I'm having a lot of trouble keeping this lit.
Is it you, or is it tobacco?
I don't know.
Because I'm not really having that much of a problem.
It's a brand new pipe. Well, yours is too, right? That's unsmoked, right?
This is unsmoked until just now. That's
Well,
right.
it might just be me. I'm not getting a good light on it.
Yeah.
It's also kind of windy and there's a fan going on above us, so not necessarily the best location, but
Yeah.
trying to tool with my pipe and get it lit
Thus far, though, go ahead and give your opinion of the Sillem Green to folks.
It's not really, it's not a heavy aromatic like they've been. If you go on tobaccoreviews.com and you look at the reviews, a lot of people are like, oh, this is a heavy aromatic. I'm not getting that at all. Could be because it's kind of dry, but
I think so. I think that because I've let it sit literally unopened, but still in that cellophane, that it has dried a little bit, and it's evaporated off some of that the casing or topping and such. But it's a nice aromatic. I'm not getting any tongue bite from it.
not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I don't think the guy behind us is either. All right, so at some point we're gonna have to end this video. Did we hit on all the stuff that we wanted to talk about?
I think so. I think so. I would love to talk a little bit more about McClelland and the like, but that could be a separate video.
Well, yeah, and I think that we're going to be talking about that for time to come. Dunhill, the same sort of thing.
Yeah. I never really smoked in a lot of the Dunhill blends. I would say the only one I've ever really had was Early Morning Pipe, and that's it. Oh, Nightcap, but I didn't like Nightcap.
I didn't like either one of those. I've not had 965, although I've got about 6 tins up in my cellar. And I do like Father Dempsey, Kramer's Father Dempsey, which I understand is very similar to 965. So
I do have 1 tin of the Elizabethan.
yeah,
Sure.
that's a hot one. So I think that what the thing that is sure in the pipe community is change going forward. Stuff's just going to be different.
It's going to be different.
And
especially after, I think October is the date that they're supposed to be implemented.
the deeming stuff.
But I've heard 2022, so I don't know which one's accurate.
It seems like the current administration has bigger fish to fry in different places. They're not putting a whole lot of emphasis on this right now.
North Korea.
Yeah, right. Talk about bigger fish to fry. So they do seem a little less nanny state than the previous administration. I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't want to get political. But that aside, whether it gets implemented next month, next year, or next decade, the fact that it's just looming has an impact on the industry.
Right.
And it has an impact on businesses. And I think that is in part what you see going on right now. So it is what it is. We better get used to it.
Yeah.
And as Gary Tant often says, buy it now, it'll never be cheaper.
It will never be cheaper.
And that's just the fact. That's just it.
I thought we had a respite, but clearly we do not. But no, seriously, no tongue bite at all.
Yeah,
None.
Not bad. The Sillem's Black, you guys know, I like that. Sillem's Green, I'm going to give it a thumb up. First time, and in a brand new pipe, so it's still going well, though. All right, should we be signing off?
Signing off,
One more.
Beignet Face.
Beignet Face, yeah. Seriously, go check out Mark's channel. At some point, he'll have some content. I will put a link down in the cellar for his channel, and it's a blessing to see all of you
Somewhere
back.
down below here.
And for all of you who have sent me some messages wondering where the heck I've been, I do appreciate that. It has been a busy season in my life, and I'm just going to throw this out there because I know some people
Busy season here too.
some people had contacted me privately and such with prayers and such. I lost my father in January, and so that has been in part some of what's been going on in my life that's been keeping me quite busy too. So thank you for those prayers, those who've reached out, kind of know me personally, and not just another pretty face on YouTube, but no, seriously, it's a great community, and those who've reached out, I appreciate that. Thank you for the prayers, and ask that you do. You have a sign off for your channel? You don't have a sign off. You have nothing. You have no branding.
Have a channel.
You don't have a channel. He does have a channel. He just doesn't do anything with it. So I'm going to sign off for us. For Beignet Face, aka MGB Squared, aka Proper Fug,
aka Mark V.V.
Mark V.V. This is Padre Piper. Wishing you and yours God's peace, grace, and blessings. Y'all go out and have a great St. Patrick's Day. By the way, you know the significance of St. Patrick's Day for me? It's my birthday.
Oh, God.
It's my birthday.
Well, I'm going to have to drop that or the picture.